Hi everyone, Elizabeth here dropping in today. So I'm really excited. Tomorrow I'll have my webinar at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on how to best pick the tools to run your business online confidently. And I wanted to give you a sneak peek of what I'm going to be covering tomorrow during our webinar workshop. I am finding that so many different business owners, whether you're now brick and mortar and now you're jumping online, or you are a coach or consultant, you are jumping online using all the same tools like Zoom. Everyone's on Zoom. Now what, right? Like, how do you stand out differently? And I'm saying this mistake and it's driving me a little crazy because you should really be making decisions on the tools and the investment based on what your business is. And so, depending on what you're trying to accomplish in your business, the tools, technology should really be an enabler to that and not just the best free thing. Why? Because if it's the only thing you're going by is price point and you're having to do a lot of manual work, or your team is having to do a lot of manual work behind the scenes to make it integrate from point A to point B, or you're just jumping on a Zoom call like this, talking and thinking that you can run the same content presentation delivery just like you can when you are doing it in person, you're going to bore your audience to death. And I love you too much to let you do that, right? So let me just take a look and see if this is working. If you can see me online, go ahead and drop me a note here. I would love to see who is on. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing a deep dive on best tools to use to run your online business. And you can actually go online and Google a whole bunch of free stuff on tools to use. But one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I first started my business that I want to help more entrepreneurs avoid isn't so much picking the tools for what, but really mapping your tools around what your business strategy is, especially now with everyone all online, everyone now all on Zoom, everyone now trying to figure out how to do webinars, trying to figure out how to do digital courses. Right? So here's what I'm going to be covering tomorrow. And I'm going to go ahead and just share this with you. So one of the things that I'm going to be covering as I've launched my 10X Performance Series webinar over the next several months is really around what I do best, which is really helping ambitious entrepreneurs think about elevating their business to that next level online and in person. In person, obviously on hold right now, but really thinking about how do you grow and sustain your business and really build relationships with the right people, the right customers, so you can grow. So what you see here is what I call my elevation roadmap, and it's all about aim, achieve, and attract. And for tomorrow's webinar and the series that I'll be covering as part of my 10X Performance webinars, you guys, is going to be think of these like mini trainings around some of these different areas, really taking a deeper dive tactically at as you're thinking about your business and what tools to pick or where to pivot or where to go next. These 10X Performance series are going to be an opportunity for you just to get a little bit more granular at what this is. So tomorrow we're going to be covering here in red what I would consider under attracting your customers. How do you operationalize your vision and think about digital products? So tomorrow's webinar isn't going to be so much about products, but it's going to really be about the operations. And what it should really be about, that I'm hoping that you're going to avoid this mistake, is not about the cheapest tool. It's not about the tool that everyone else is using, okay? Where you should really start with your business is really about this, okay? You should really be picking your tools based on your business model, okay? So in the chat, type 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Growth should be 5. Where you're adding your business. Tomorrow during the webinar, I'm going to be covering a little bit more about what these business stages are and why you need certain tools to accommodate that business, right? So for example, level 1, I call this the sideline. you have desire, and you have a side hustle, right? You're usually doing this, you're dreaming up, right? Really about the idea of starting your own business, but you're doing it as more of a side hustle, right? And the tools that you need for that are very minimum. And you're right, you can probably get by with a lot of free tools out there like Zoom, like Teachable. But the challenge that I know I had when I first started, and I see a lot of my clients and students have, especially if their business model was never intended to be online, and because of coronavirus, we are now being forced to be online, is they're just picking a tool and then thinking they're going to jump online and it's all going to be the same. Okay, that's the first mistake I'm saying. The second one is being confused with operating your business as an online model versus social media marketing. Okay, I see a lot of people making that mistake too, like just jumping online, thinking about Facebook Live, trying to use that as a webinar versus webinar with other tools, and thinking about what does that funnel look like? How do I get my customers or my students from point A to point B seamlessly, right? Like that is all about your online business operations and your model. And it should make sense to where you're trying to go. Why? Because my goal, you guys, is to help you really get into this online space. Like I'm telling you this from a place of love because I'm seeing entrepreneurs jump online with their brick and mortar businesses trying to just do more social media marketing and not thinking about generating how I can generate an online revenue stream. Or two, they're just taking everything they did in person and just jumping online and thinking they can deliver it in a Zoom call. You guys, it's not about just being online. We have to shift our mindset from online to interactions in a different delivery, in a different method online, right? It's like when you take your content and you're delivering it for a presentation versus an interactive workshop. Same content, different deliveries, different expectations, different outcomes. Does that make sense? Same thing with being online based on the tools that you have, okay? So, depending on where you're at, this is going to be really key, right? If you're at stage 2, which is really that startup phase, you have some sort of passion and skills alignment. There's a little bit of demand for your solution, right? You're really looking at what problem am I solving and what solution can I offer based on my passion and skills that match, right? If you're a solopreneur, you might be between startup and ramp up a little bit, right? Sometimes I see different solopreneurs who are pivoting their business on whatever the market demand is. You know, almost like, for example, I just had a conversation with a woman entrepreneur, and one minute she is doing virtual assistant work, right? And the next minute she is doing something completely different. And then the next minute she's doing something else. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? There's no judgment on my end. You know, she is just trying to get by. Totally get it. Right now is the time for us to do that. But if I were to think about her business and say, what would I call her for? What is that flavor of the day that she's known for? I don't know. I really don't know. She doesn't stick out in my mind. I just know if I need extra help with different projects, I would call her. And depending on the flavor of the day, she might be doing something else, right? So, where you want to be in your business is you want to be known for one area, one expertise. And regardless of your different products or projects or services that you're delivering, that could vary. But you should really be known for one thing, right? Even like I said to her, even if you want to get into the virtual assistant space, what is that one thing that you're really great at? Is it going to be funnel building? Is it going to be data entry and project management? Whatever you want to be in that VA virtual assistant space, you got to still stand out in some way. So I know why I would hire you and what your skill set is. Just like it's almost just like interviewing for a job, right? So that's really startup, right? So what phase are you at? Go ahead and type that in the chat. Phase 3 is really around ramp up. Okay, so this is really the key here is repeatability. You start to really know what your product is. You found customers that are willing to pay for it. Okay, this is my biggest pet peeve. And I tell my students and my clients this, I'll get all the time. If you give things away for free, there will always be a customer. If you're that bad, then there won't be a customer. But the truth is, when you give things away for free, there will always be a customer for it. And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, there are some pros and cons to doing that. If you're looking to test out a content, fine. If you're looking to test your content, test if you have the right market, maybe nail down some of the delivery and perfect that a little bit, and you want to do it for free, completely, right? Or if you are an expert at something and you want to give something away because your heart is in the moment to serve, nothing wrong with that. But the worst case scenario is when you give something away for free and you're silently hoping and praying that they will become a customer. That's where things go wrong. So when things are free, you always get a customer, right? So the key in level 3 when you're under ramp up is you've had a product that is repeatable, you found customers that are willing to pay for it. That's the key. And you've successfully delivered the product, meaning you can go back to these customers and ask for testimonials. You can ask them for case studies, and you have maybe 2 or 3 of those or more that are really there. And you're starting to just, hone in on your product offering, and you're starting to get a better sense of who is your right customer, where are they hanging out online. That's level 3. Okay. Are you guys loving this? Let me know in the comments. Okay. Level 4, which we're going to cover tomorrow during my webinar, is really around scale, right? So this is same product, new customers. You're constantly focused on new customer acquisitions. That's your key strategy. So from a tools perspective, you're looking for things, people, and tools that are going to optimize and be most efficient for you, right? So automation is really key at this point. And at this point, you probably are building teams. So you're starting to think about your workplace culture because you want consistent delivery in your customer experience, which is really around quality standards and expectations. You got to level up to your customer standards, right? So you're training other people to deliver the same amazing experience that you did when you were running it solo. But now that you are scaling, you just don't have the bandwidth for that, right? You got to wear your CEO hat at this point, right? So level 5, typo, that should be typo, growth is really around community and diversification. What do I mean by community? This is really where customer retention is key. At this point, you have a recognizable brand equity. Brand equity just means that you've built a brand now where people can just recognize it, and there's value in that, right? Whether it's when you put your name and logo out there and people recognize it, it's when you partner with other partners and affiliates and you're able to bring your product or other affiliates' products to a mass audience. That's when you have what I call recognizable brand equity. And at this point, you've built an audience or customer base that really your key strategy right now is retention. And the wow differentiation that I teach is often focused on eventually you want to get to a community. And I'm not just talking about Facebook group. I'm talking about a community based on customer retention as your key driving strategy. Why? Because that's really when you can achieve further growth through product diversification. You are keeping and loving the customers that are good to you, and you're looking at what they need next, and you're developing new products, new services to meet their next need, right? And this is a really beautiful spot to be in because, as many of you know, new client customer acquisition is really time consuming and expensive. So when you already have customers that love you and what you do and what you stand for, you don't need to go anywhere else because guess what? As a human being, we tend to like to hang out with like-minded people, right? So at this point, when you get to this point, your customers, your focus is on retention and creating advocates so that they can refer business to you and bring their friends and family and other like-minded people in front of your brand. So tomorrow during our webinar, we're going to be covering these tools based on what your business model is. And I know it's not a quick fix, and it may not seem like the cheapest tool is the best way to go, but you got to think about the fact that you're making an investment financially and your time to learn these new tools, to integrate them on the back end, to figure out how to deliver your content, your service, your offering through these tools. You don't want to waste time and money on things that isn't really really intended to do the one thing that you needed to do most, which is deliver amazing service and quality so that you can get paid as quickly as possible, right? So that's the part that oftentimes I see entrepreneurs making, right? So this is what we're going to be covering tomorrow is pick the tools based on your business model. Okay. Don't just pick it based on what everyone else is doing or what is free or cheapest out there. You're spending a lot of time to learn technology and tools that may or may not serve you. And who has time for that? I know I don't, right? So the next page that we'll be covering during the webinar tomorrow is really around the business model, the strategies, and the tools, and how you can really select the tools from membership and courses to communication tools to webinars to live stream tools and video editing. I even got a list of like different tools for transcribing. I literally did a pricing shopping comparison sheet for you. You're going to get that. I'm going to walk you through 3 simple business strategies so that you can really think about what you're trying to do with your business. Take a step back, ladies and gentlemen, and zoom out and look at what you're trying to accomplish, because technology is an enabler of that. If your model isn't working, technology isn't going to make it work. It's going to actually make you more frustrated because you spent a lot of time trying to learn how to use that tool or having your team use that tool, right? So that's really the key there. The other thing that I will be giving you, because my heart is really intended on getting you up and running online as quickly as possible, because everyone's online now. It is a clutterfuck of people online if you are a consultant, a coach, an online business, okay? Your ability to get built and stood up as quickly as possible so that you can focus on your marketing, your messaging, having the ongoing conversations with customers who already love and adore you. That's what your number one priority should be. But the longer that you are behind the scenes building, the longer that you are manually having to link tool A to tool B to tool C, the less time you have to get in front of your customers. You hear what I'm saying? And that hurts me and that hurts you. And that's why I'm doing this, because I really truly want to be able to help you stand out online so that you can do the work that you are meant to do. Right now, we're just at a really tough time. And the more that I can, help other entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants just get online and really focus on delivering their best work and working their magic, I really genuinely believe we are going to be in a better place, right? So tomorrow, you're going to get an online tool checklist, which again, what's negotiable, what's not, what's optional. I even have a couple of all-in-one solutions. If you're a consultant or a coach, that might also work for you. Maybe you might be willing to pay a little bit more just to have that A to Z solution. Hey, if that works for you, awesome. And then most importantly, I also have a spreadsheet so that based on what you pick, right, you have ballpark prices of plans. My team and I put that together so you can approximately estimate how much will I be spending per month. That was like my biggest pet peeve, was being able to really take a moment to really understand how much am I actually spending per month on all the tools that I need to be able to run my business. All right. So that's what I'm going to be covering tomorrow. And again, pick your tools by the business model. I can't emphasize this enough. All right. The biggest mistake that you can make is just right now to be jumping and going on different sites, looking at different tools and just going by price. Okay. So I just wanted to jump in and share that with you, because those are the 2 mistakes that I'm saying. One, a lot of different entrepreneurs confusing social media marketing with online business operations. And 2, just going and picking whatever tools everyone else is recommending and not taking a moment to step back and think about, what is my business model? And your business model, you guys, is just really about how do you market and operate your business so that you can find the right clients as quickly as possible. So really that journey or that funnel from finding your customers to delivering and making sure there's a feedback loop. So it's everything that's really in your business, and technology is an enabler for that. All right. So tomorrow, April 7th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be doing a webinar where we're going to do a deeper dive into all of this, and you're going to be able to walk away with tangible tools that make sense for your business. And I'm really excited about that. So I hope to see you there. If you have any questions, just holler and reach out. You know where to find me. All right? Okay, I will talk to you later. Bye.